Yeah, I want to talk to you about leaders today. And I mentioned it was in the beginning of 1 Samuel that the people requested a king. And that Samuel was not pleased, went before God, and he said, give them what they want, because they haven't, they didn't reject Samuel, they rejected God. And like Israel was supposed to be a peculiar people, a different nation. And with God going out before them instead of having a leader before them that they could see. And I look at that story, people, some people think that the Messianic Jews want to make us ashamed of our heritage, but there are a lot of things you want to read in the Bible you have to be ashamed of, and it's a shame, when you look at the nation of Israel wanting a king, instead of being unlike the nations, and I look at it as such a mistake when I read through 1st and 2nd Samuel and 1st and 2nd Kings and 1st and 2nd Chronicles. I mean, first Saul, he became a king, and then he turned sour. He went bad. He backslid, and then he ended up. God had to send Samuel out to find David, and Samuel ended up. He realized he played the fool. He said he played the fool, not Samuel. I mean Saul. King Saul said he played the fool, and then how this whole life ended, that he was wounded, and this armor bearer wouldn't kill him, and he went and fell on a sword, and the armor bearer went and did the same thing. And then it was time for King David, and look at I look at King David was perhaps about the best king that Israel had, and yet he slipped up with a woman, and maybe that was they want a king to go out with them to their battles, and yet he was sitting home and taking it easy when he should have been out on the battlefront. Many of you have been out on the battlefront. He wouldn't have committed adultery, and he went out and numbered the people, and he wanted to be numbered, and had to stop, and he brought problems upon the nation. Amen. Yes, and then King Solomon, he had the wise. He made the treaties, and ended up because of what he did. That the nation became divided. It was the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom. And what happened? That Judah still pretty much stayed faithfully with the Lord till about the later years. But look what happened to the kingdom of Israel. God appointed this man to be the king, but what did he do? He went and made the golden calf all over again in two places. He didn't want to go down to Jerusalem. And Israel became an idolatrous nation, got carried away before. And then Judah got carried away eventually, and the land had to have rest. And I would look at it today, people are today disappointed. They're upset because they didn't get the one that they wanted. But you better think, because Samuel warned them. He said, God told Samuel, warn the people what will happen. He's going to take your women to be be confectionaries. Going to be having people doing the service and being the armies, and they wouldn't listen. And you know what? It's time, I think, for America to wake up. And I think God has given us a space of 4 years, and I think a time for us to really I pray for a grassroots revival, because it isn't the president who's going to bring the country back. It's the church. The church has to wake up in this country. That one singer said that the church is that the believers are asleep in the light. Yes. And it's time, that we while all these false movements are coming up, that the real people of God rise up. And bring a warning, like the revivals of the 18th and 19th century. Amen. I think heed the warning. Wake up. Amen. Because you think about what kind of leader, and I see what we could have had almost as was coming in the future, a leader of the whole world, who's going to put tighten things when Messiah calls the believers home, and people who are going to wake up and realize that they should have, done the same, and God's going to draw the line. He says, are you with me, or are you with the world? Amen. And you got to make a choice. Amen.